So back to Brian Urlacher for a moment. Brian Urlacher clotheslined the red shirts, press slammed Johnny Fairplay. It all seemed relatively harmless. It caused quite a scene in Chicago sports.
Why?
So, first of all, a backstage note. Brian Urlacher made a good impression with the TNA wrestlers while backstage last Wednesday. Wrestlers say he was very accessible to everyone and spent time talking to anybody who approached him. He was said to be very excited about his on-air role and left the building satisfied with his performance.
Sure.
All well and good until later that week. So, Chicago Bears linebacker Brian Urlacher, a good friend of Eric Watts, by the way, if you were wondering why he's there, he is Eric Watts' pal.
I mean, who isn't?
Was able to be talked into doing something physical, and TNA got more publicity than they bargained for when it turned into a Chicago sports controversy about a guy with a $56 million 9-year contract risking injuries by doing an angle.
Do you think they were just mad because when he ran the ropes, he went neck first into the second rope?
Yeah, he did nearly die when he hit the ropes. His hat fell off. He hit the ropes so badly.
But he recovered from it.
He hit a cool clothesline and then he hit a cool press slam.
Man, Chicago sports fans must just hate pro wrestling. They have fucking Brian Urlacher going off with his $56 million contract and press slamming a dude. They have Dennis Rodman leaving mid fucking playoffs to go fuck around with Hulk Hogan in WCW.
Maybe that is it. Maybe it's just like we've seen what happens when freaking Chicago sports stars get too tight with the wrestling and suddenly they abandon training to go mess around on Nitro. We don't want to happen again.
And listen, this isn't the hottest topic in the world at the moment, but I did watch The Last Dance finally. The whole time I was just like, just get to the Dennis Rodman bit.
Listen, there will be mention of Dennis Rodman on this podcast because he does make a TNA appearance.
Wait, what?
Yeah, in 2004 as well, so you can look forward to that.
I am looking forward to that.
There was a large amount of publicity in Chicago, including front page coverage 2 days later in the Chicago Sun-Times, and it got a brief mention on Around the Horn, ESPN Sports Center, Pardon the Interruption, and on Aaron Brown's CNN show. Unfortunately, how much of this will help TNA is questionable, but in the situation the company is in, they have to take it as a major positive just that the name got out. In a major story in the Chicago Sun-Times, Jay Mariotti brought up Jay Williams ruining his basketball career in a motorcycle accident and Aaron Brown blowing out his knee playing pickup basketball. He noted that Urlacher never told the Bears what he was doing, and he appeared in a dingy arena packed with goofball fans and threw himself into a 3-minute episode of choreographed foolishness, is the direct quote.
How dare he insult the Juggalos?
The ICP are coming for Chicago sports. Bears general manager Jerry Angelo made the story bigger when he said that they aren't going to make a big deal about this incident, that Urlacher would not be allowed to participate in pro wrestling from this point forward. Urlacher's contract prohibits him from participating in any activity that exposes him to a significant injury risk. Considered this a violation of that, but Urlacher said he didn't think there was anything violating his contract.
I mean, they're not wrong. Like, they're paying this guy $56 million.
Yep.
And he's like, I'm gonna go press. What if he had what if Fairplay didn't get upright and he just popped his shoulder or some shit? Or when he went neck first into the ropes running the ropes.
Imagine the trouble TNA would get in if that happened. Because the Chicago Bears would probably have a reasonable lawsuit to hold them liable for the financial costs there.
Who knows?
So controversy in the Chicago sports world because of this relatively harmless looking TNA angle.
I don't know if anything about this angle looked harmless.
I did quite enjoy that they wanted all this publicity for Johnny Fairplay and then ended up getting it for Johnny Fairplay being press slammed, to be fair.
I bet it wasn't mentioned in any of those articles that it was Johnny Fairplay who was the one on the receiving end.
Yeah, because he's not actually that famous, and by all accounts his 15 minutes of fame from Survivor had already moved on, because that's the way television works.
Yeah.
Should ask Rich about this. It's like, hey Rich, remember that time Chicago sports exploded because of Brian Urlacher and TNA?
We should ask him about Johnny Fairplay too.
Everyone remembers Johnny Fairplay. Big Survivor fans, everybody. And it must be mentioned, this is not the last time we will mention a football player coming into TNA doing something physical and then not being allowed to do something physical. But at least they didn't make Brian Urlacher one half of the tag team champions.